Did you know the TVA building, the main building, you know, the lift with the timekeepers?
All the layers,
yeah,
those sweeping
that's
shots.
actually not CGI alone.
Right.
Come on. What did you expect?
It's actually a real building. It's a hotel.
That's what I scream before I start designing anything.
Glorious purpose.
Glorious purpose!
Do you laugh like that too?
Yeah. Once I've cracked the design.
And then
Look, Obi, it's Hogwarts. Hogwarts! You're a wizard, Loki.
Not a week then.
So you said the last episode next week.
Yeah. Yep.
Olivetti?
Yeah. But it's stuck on TW. Oh no, it does say Olivetti, does it?
I don't know.
Love the graphics.
Venice, Olivetti showroom.
Yeah.
Showroom?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you ever go to Venice, you've got to go there.
It's probably the most accessible Scarpa project.
That's a big call.
Why?
Why is it the most successful?
Not most accessible.
Oh, accessible. Right, okay. Yeah. Because it's right on that square. Portal, just like the game, one of my favourite design things is the video game Portal.
It's all photocopy graphics, you know, the little artifacts. As if you know how you photocopy many times and it gets a... It's filmed in Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia was built by John Portman pretty much. There's so many buildings by him.
Yeah.
I'm Loki. You may have heard of me.
That was for New York.
I like her.
So what John Portman did was that he turned the hotel inside out. So the whole internal atrium hotel thing that we're so used to, that was John Portman.
Right.
Unfortunately, his building's exteriors kind of did reject the street. It's that typical oil money, lots of cars. And so these are kind of oases from the city, basically.
It's the whole shopping mall
Yeah.
logic, where you drive to a destination, you go underground, and then you arrive into this privatized street,
Yeah.
and then you go back into a car, and then you drive back somewhere else. And you think internally, and you reject the city.
Check that out. It's one like ribs.
Yeah.
Ribs.
And that's that great pan shot you see in like the second episode.
But that's real. Like, but look at these little walkways that goes out. So it goes past it. The lift is in the middle, so you bridge into the lifts. That's why it's so rich. Instead of atrium, typically they would maybe do a lift on the edge. This is kind of in the middle, and you've got bridges and things just hanging in space. Look at this.
I do like that idea that it's
Look at
like, oh yeah. Oh, these are little sitting areas.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
so it's got a lot of these little pockets of circulation. He's done a lot of that stuff.
Ribs is a good analogy, actually. It's like circular. It's a spine, literally a spine with these bits of structure hanging off it.
Big metaphor guy. I love it. Makes you sound super smart.
But even look at that. Look at the before Zaha Hadid. You can see the shape of that morphing as it goes up.
Yeah. So there's repetition and difference.
That's right. I think that's a key. I think there's a lot of beautiful things. Again, we talked about Venice. Look at Piazza San Marco. Look at the facades. It's actually just repetition.
Yeah.
So I think there's something about repetition that's actually quite beautiful. That if it's done well, often they're not, and then it becomes boring. Here's a section.
Well, there's a difference between repetition and sameness, and being the same. So, and that's one thing Alain de Botton talks about in his, which one is it? Like The Perfect City?
Yeah, beautiful city, yeah.
How, repetition is something that the human mind finds really beautiful, but then you have difference within that. So there's always intrigue. Instead of just chaos, which he kind of points to the modern city and says, you have an office building next to a garage, next to a tower.
Which is kind of interesting because the building themselves, John Portman's buildings, are kind of unified in its own way, especially internally. But then externally, it's just here's another tower, here's another tower.
They're islands.
Yeah.
Islands in the city.
Yeah, look how cool that red floor and the little pockets.
But you don't get that from below though, do you? It's looking like in one direction it's quite muted.
Yeah, one direction, if you're looking up, it's actually quite.
Yeah, there's something really lovely about that. That you think I like that as well. So you get repetitions, so you kind of glance at it and you think you understand it, but then you get a different access and it tells a different story.
Look at the handrail. Is this coming up? What else is going on
I can't
here?
understand that. I keep seeing that and thinking, why is it splayed out like that?
I don't know. It's not going to stop people jumping. No.
Maybe it would. Why does that happen?
Oh, there you go. There's the plan. Oh, that's cool. Oh, check out those lifts. Imagine right next to that bridge.
So much of the colours in Loki are actually quite muted and restrained, and then there's these real pops
Of colours.
Very 70s idea.
So there's that, and then I was saying I've been to a John Portman building. I've been to a hotel, similar hotel. It's in San Francisco. Have you been to San Francisco?
Mm-hmm. A couple of times.
It's in Embarcadero, which is right at the tip.
Did he also do that Los Angeles?
Yeah. This is Bonaventure.
Downtown Los Angeles.
That's right. And you can see the similar language with the little pods hanging off, the seating pods hanging off the circulation.
Cool.
Have you been to this one?
No, I haven't been inside.
Yeah, look at these things.
I've driven past it. Pretty amazing, this huge sense of scale, and then he creates these little moments where you can sort of just inhabit the spot. Which I think, they captured well in Loki.
Oh, there you go. This is Embarcadero. Look at that. This is the outside.
Oh.
But what's beautiful about this is the inside. When you catch
a car park.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
It's not great. But this is the hotel inside. So you catch a lift, and because of the way that the floors are doing this, and it goes up, and then suddenly the floor just keeps coming up to you, so it suddenly gets more and more squashed. It's actually quite an amazing experience. There you go. There's a...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is, if you ever go to San Francisco, check that out. And but even just walking along these corridors, it suddenly just gouges out, just have this angle that goes the other direction.
And in both of them, they're really cavernous because he's this dedication to having this slot of natural light.
Yeah.
As though maybe you are underground in a cave or something like that, but there's natural light.
And then the atrium restaurants and stuff like that, and just sort of this internal landscape with fountains and what have you.
And bright colours again.
Yeah.
So the real human moments.
But yeah, John Portman is not a name that you kind of hear of much these days.
You can tell it's also the space race. Like these are almost little capsules, little space capsules, fanging up and down the building.
This shot here, it can completely just be something again in a film, right? They're really cinematic.
Yeah. Who's that artist? Died a couple of years ago. He did all the artwork for Blade Runner. He's super famous. I'm going to kick myself when your name comes up. Sid Mead. Sid Mead.
Kick yourself. Go on, kick yourself.
So Portman's stuff is almost a little bit like Sid Mead's work.
Yeah?
Come to life, I'd say.
Sid Mead. Let me check out Sid Mead.
There's an episode to do, Sid Mead. If you have not come across Sid Mead, you will have come across him. It's just you may not have known it was him. Yeah, so designing space stations. So obviously if you're going to have a big space station, you want it to be a cylinder and you spin it so you get centripetal force. So
for gravity.
Gravity. So he's done all of these different types of landscapes of how a curved space station could work.
Halo.
Yeah. But he got commissions. He's gotten commissions for heaps of different movies over the years. The great thing about him is whenever he gets a design, he makes sure that it's inhabited by life, which is a good lesson for anybody drawing buildings. Like he will have like this narrative of how it's occupied.
So hang on, this is 80s, right? So I wonder if the Embarcadero, because that's a pyramid form, isn't it?
I assume these guys are contemporaries. One's just working with paper architecture, Sid Mead, and John Portman's actually trying to deliver it. But the reality is Sid Mead's, most of his stuff, there's something urban about it.
But dystopian though, at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, you have a look at some of his stuff and it's dystopian because Blade Runner is a dystopian story, but you look at some of the other stuff and it's really utopian.
Yeah?
One of his best ones is this house, which I saw a second ago. Yeah, this. Like, that's just shit hot house.
Close rounded corner windows.
Yeah. Which, like future systems that we've talked about before.
Oh, check the handrails. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And it's like mass production. So he's, you know, why aren't we building structures like we build cars?
Good Barbarella over here. Cool.
So it'll be interesting to check the timelines to see if the
timeline.
they're contemporaries of each other. And Portman's trying to take a lot of these ideas and actually make them real.
Maybe one's been purged.
Well, Sid Mead died a couple of years ago. Maybe he is a variant.
From, yes, alternative universe.
He does seem that way. Only the finest for you. Aged.
You want to show people what we're having? Melbourne Bitter.
Melbourne Bitter. I can't see the year, what year this was, how it's been aged.
Year 2022.
Yeah. It's actually, and I'll fight you, literally, I will fight you, leave a comment. It's actually a great beer. Drinking all these expensive wanky beers, but Melbourne beer is actually very drinkable.
How far is it away from VB though?
It's not that far from VB, but that's a good beer.
Sure.
You didn't disagree with me?
I'll drink it. Sometimes I drink it.
Yeah, that's because you're an alcoholic. He'll just drink it. Put it in front of him, he'll drink it.
Whitney. It used to be called a Whitney.
What, in New York?
Yeah.
Is that by Portman?
No, it's Breuer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Whitney. Well, formerly the Whitney Museum. Now it's called the Met Breuer.
Who met Breuer?
You met Breuer.
No, I never did.
No, neither did I.
Who's on first base? Oh, look at that ceiling.
Yeah, well, exactly. It looks very similar.
It does. That scene where he's got to get a ticket and just walk through there and the screen's up, that is just amazing.
Yeah, if you look at my photo.
Oh, isn't that great?
Yeah. And it's like, you got all that stuff and then they still got that tape, you know, the shitty tape that you have to walk around, like an airport. Yeah, they have that. And real life, like these are the architectural shots. They're kind of all clean and nothing's there. Yeah. But if you go there in real life, they have those tape up there.
Yeah, right. So in Loki, they've just seen it and just gone, this is it. This is the bit where Loki comes in and somebody says, get a ticket. And the other guy doesn't get the ticket.
Yeah, and you got to walk around like...
Yeah. It's like,
it's only me. Yeah. You've been there, right?
Yes.
Yes. The most amazing stair. Look at that stair detail. Look at that.
Yeah, to create a nosing.
What?
It's to create a nosing, isn't it? So you can get your toe under there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
But then from the side, it looks all squared off. So it looks lovely, but then it's really functional.
Yeah.
Have you guys been to the Whitney
Breuer, Met Breuer now, it's called? By Marcel Breuer. That's what it's called.
In New York? Yeah? Leave a comment.
That stair, man.
Yeah. Oof. And the beautiful, timber where you touch it.
And then, look at that. That's the concrete, and then the stair hang off it.
Ah, yeah.
But then, it sort of goes back to, of course, there's the internal atrium, which is Frank Lloyd Wright's. But then you've got a really extreme version, which is like the SOM one in Shanghai, the Junmao Tower. That's one of the things we go to in our tour. And even though you think, okay, it's just an atrium, because it's really tall. And it's just got this slight spiral with the little balconies that juts out. It really trips you out. Like looking up is one thing, but looking down, that's when you go, holy whoa.
Yeah.
And that's like the Jedi, not the Jedi, in Star Wars, what's it called?
The Republic.
The Republic Senate. The Senate? Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of goes back, and where there is the pods can come out and travel across.
So that's that repetition thing again, right?
Yeah. And scale. Because that's what's interesting about these, is the walkways are essentially a human scale. It's height to get people to move along, and then just rack them and stack them, and you create this huge space that's anything but human. And that's the thing about the Portman stuff, and again, I think they reflect really well in Loki, is that juxtaposition between the overt
individual
and the human. And there's just no mid scale. It's just get this one scale, repeat it to create something massive.
But that is what the TVA stands for too. Sort of order. There's absolute kind of repetition and order, supposedly, and then little differences and variations are ironed out.
Yeah. Which I guess that explains why they've picked this kind of era, because it was this search for absolute order. But in a way, it's blinkered. It's like, just ignore all the chaos that's going on outside. Just create these little islands that look inwards. Look, it's perfect. It's Utopia.
Yeah, it's all inwards, isn't it? Even though the city view, that still look like it's something internal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But Marvel's really good with that, though. Marvel's really good with the details.
Yeah, and with picking genres and eras and sticking to them.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for 10,000 subscribers.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that. You guys are amazing. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. We started doing this kind of as a self-indulgence. Like, let's talk about stuff on camera. It's
Yes.
great to know that some people enjoy it. 10,000, in fact.
Next stop, 100,000.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, that's right.
But each of you get 10 of your friends to subscribe. It's a Ponzi scheme. And then they get 10 of their friends. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Thanks for watching. Are you watching Loki? This has obviously been sponsored by the Disney Channel, this episode. It is great seeing good storytelling and commitment to really good design in that. And it's great seeing these connections to architecture that some of us know and love. Anything you've seen in it? It's full of Easter eggs, like you said.
Yeah.
Leave a comment, let us know. Get on Discord if you want to have a chat about anything to do with architecture. What, is it almost the biggest Discord channel now for discussing architecture?
Word most active, definitely.
The most active, right. Thanks for watching.
You ridiculous bureaucrats will not dictate how my story ends!
It's not your story, Mr. Laufeyson. It never was.
See you in the next timeline.
Variant. Definitely a variant.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not built for this timeline.